3. Kissing spots that spark emotional and physical intimacy in women. Every woman has emotional switches hidden in plain sight. Touch them the right way and something powerful awakens inside her. A connection, a curiosity, and yes, even desire. But here's the truth. Intimacy doesn't begin in the bedroom. It begins in the small, overlooked gestures, like a kiss in the right place at the right moment. Want to spark a connection she never forgets? Start here. There's a place on her body that speaks louder than words. It's not the place you'd think to go first. It's not flashy. It doesn't scream for attention, but it's one of the most intimate, emotionally powerful places you can touch. The base of her neck, just beneath her hairline, just above her collarbone. That space? It holds secrets, it holds memories, and it holds one of the most potent triggers for emotional connection a woman can feel. Psychologically, the nape of the neck is deeply sensitive. Why? Because it's vulnerable. She can't see what's happening behind her. She has to trust you completely to be that close, that gentle. And in that vulnerability is where the chemistry is born. According to somatosensory research, this region is packed with nerve endings that are directly tied to the limbic system, the emotional core of the brain. When you kiss her there, it doesn't just tingle her skin. It speaks directly to her emotional memory. It tells her something is happening, not just physically, but emotionally. It awakens a part of her that says, I feel safe. And when a woman feels safe, she allows herself to feel deeply. She allows herself to connect. And that connection, that's what turns physical attraction into something unforgettable. But here's what most men get wrong. They rush. They move too fast. They go for the obvious. They forget the power of subtlety, of presence, of slow burning intimacy. You see, the neck isn't about domination. It's about devotion. It's not about taking, it's about notice, about showing her that you're not here for just her body. You're here for her energy, her aura, her essence. When you gently brush her hair aside and press a kiss to the back of her neck, slow, warm, with intention, you send a message. I see you. I cherish you. I'm not here to consume you. I'm here to understand you. That kind of message, it hits different. It stays. It lingers. Biologically, women associate this touch with affection, comfort, and trust. And in evolutionary terms, that matters. The base of the neck is a protective zone, near the spine, near major arteries, near places the body instinctively guards. When she lets you in there, she's letting you into her world. And this is where the real magic happens. When you love her in the quiet places, she gives you access to the deeper ones. When you pay attention to the spaces most men ignore, she feels seen in ways most women only dream of. That single kiss, slow, sincere, meaningful, can do more than any line, gift, or performance ever could. It's not about manipulation. It's about connection. About being so present, so aware, so gentle that she melts, not from arousal, but from trust. So the next time you're with her, don't just think about where to go. Think about what to awaken. Think about the part of her that's waiting to be noticed. Not touched for pleasure, but kissed for meaning. Because when you kiss the base of her neck with presence, you don't just touch her body, you touch her soul. There's a place on her body that most men never even think about. It's not flashy, it's not obvious, but it holds a secret that can unlock a flood of emotional and sensual energy right behind her ear. You see, this area is a psychological and neurological goldmine. It's where sensation meets memory, where trust meets anticipation. It's where the brain gets its first whisper that something meaningful is happening, and not just physically, but emotionally. Let's talk science. The area behind the ear, known in neuroscience as part of the auriculotemporal zone, is rich with afferent nerve endings, meaning it's wired directly to the brain's pleasure and emotion centers. When lightly stimulated, it triggers the release of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. This isn't just a tickle, it's a message. A message that says you're safe, you're desired, you're special. And here's where most men miss it. They think passion is loud, aggressive, obvious. But in truth, the deepest emotions often awaken in silence, in subtlety, in the barely there moments that say 1,000 things without a single word. A soft kiss just behind her ear, a slow exhale, the gentle presence of lips where no one ever bothers to linger, that's what stirs her mind. Because the ear is intimate. It's close to her brain, to her thoughts, her insecurities, her secrets. It's a space usually reserved for whispers, for confessions, for laughter. So when your lips find their way there with intention, she doesn't just feel it, she remembers it. Emotionally, this kind of touch speaks to a deeper craving to be seen and understood beyond the surface. She may not tell you this out loud, but every woman wants to feel like she matters beyond her appearance. She wants to feel chosen, not for how she looks, but for how she makes you feel, for who she is when no one else is watching. That's what a kiss behind the ear can do. It bypasses performance. It steps over ego. It walks directly into vulnerability. Because to get that close and still be gentle is to tell her she's not just a body. She's a universe worth exploring. And when a woman feels that, she opens up emotionally in ways no amount of physical effort could ever match. Think about it. Most men are busy aiming for her body. Few take the time to learn it. And so learning to learn, like, and celebrate potential is to take away the feeling of being bought with. It's to understand it, to explore its emotional codes. But when you kiss her behind the ear with full presence, slow, warm, intentional, you're not chasing pleasure. You're creating a moment. And moments like that, they echo. They stay. They create craving. Not for lust, but for you. So don't overlook this space. Don't underestimate its power. Behind her ear is not just skin. It's the edge of her emotional intelligence, her curiosity, her mystery. And when touched the right way, with honesty, confidence, and care, it awakens a part of her that even she forgot was there. This isn't about seduction. It's about connection. Deep, emotional, lasting connection. The kind that's rare. The kind that's unforgettable. It's one of the most overlooked places on her entire body. Quiet, small, innocent, but it holds an emotional charge that most men never learn to access. Her inner wrist. This isn't a place for lust. This is a place for intimacy, for presence, for power that doesn't shout, but whispers something unforgettable. The kind of whisper that lingers in her memory long after you're gone. Biologically, the inner wrist is a highly sensitive area. It's home to major arteries, delicate skin, and sensory nerve endings. But more than that, it's where her body carries emotional sensitivity. It's the place where her pulse lives, not just her heartbeat, but her tension, her openness, her response to how you make her feel. According to psychological research, touch in the wrist area activates the insula, the part of the brain responsible for emotional awareness and empathy. When you gently kiss or hold her wrist, you're not just stimulating her physically, you're inviting her into a moment of surrender. Not submission, surrender. There's a difference. Surrender is what happens when a woman feels safe enough to soften, to feel, to let her guard down. But here's the part no one talks about. When a man kisses a woman's wrist, it shows restraint. It shows he doesn't just want to consume her. He wants to understand her, to feel her energy, to learn her rhythm, to explore the quiet places of her heart. This kind of gesture isn't about seduction. It's about emotion. You're not trying to excite her. You're trying to connect with her. And that kind of connection, it builds a fire that physical touch alone can never create. It's easy to chase what's obvious: lips, hips, curves. But the man who pays attention to the overlooked places, he becomes unforgettable. The wrist is delicate, feminine. It's where she carries her scent, her bracelets, her watch, symbols of time, beauty, and movement. When you pause and kiss that space, you're saying, I value the little things. I see you in the details. I respect your timing. It's a moment of reverence, and reverence is rare. Most women are touched, but never honored, held, but never understood. The wrist is a place where you can change that. You can be the one man who made her feel like a masterpiece, not a performance. Even the act of holding her wrist gently during conversation, not controlling, not gripping, just resting your thumb against her pulse, it tells her she can exhale. It tells her you're listening. It tells her you're not just here to win her over, you're here to know her. And that's what turns attraction into attachment, attention into affection, touch into trust. So don't ignore her inner wrist. Learn it, respect it. Because in that small space lies a doorway into her emotional core. And if you know how to enter with grace, she'll never forget the man who didn't just touch her body, but awakened her soul. Every woman carries weight in places you can't see. Emotional burdens, expectations, fears, memories. And somehow, her lower back becomes the silent cradle of it all. It's not just anatomy, it's emotional architecture. That part of her body is where stress hides, where tension builds, and where comfort becomes unforgettable. When you place your hand gently on her lower back, you're saying something far deeper than words ever could. You're safe. I've got you. It's not a sexual move, not when done with presence. It's a move of leadership, of protection, of grounded masculine energy that says, lean into me. I'm here. Science backs it up. The lower back has fewer nerve endings than more obvious erogenous zones, but its connection to the autonomic nervous system makes it a site of deep emotional response. When touched correctly, it activates the parasympathetic system, the part of her brain responsible for rest, safety, and connection. This means if you want her heart, not just her attention, learn to touch her lower back. But let's be clear, the difference between a touch that soothes and a touch that startles is intention. A man who touches her lower back while rushing her forward in a crowd is not the same as the man who places his hand there with stillness and care. It's not what you touch, it's how you touch it. Softly, firmly, with purpose. That's how you create safety without saying a word. Here's the part most men overlook. Women crave emotional reliability. When your hand meets her lower back, it's a moment of unspoken reassurance. It tells her, I'm not going anywhere. I'm tuned in. That's 1,000 times more powerful than any pickup line. And emotionally, the lower back represents support. Think about it. It's the core of her stability. It balances her. It holds her upright. When you cradle that part of her body, even briefly, you symbolically say, I will support you. I won't let you fall. That's not just romantic. That's deeply primal. That's what triggers her sense of trust, not just her desire. If you ever slow dance with a woman and your hand rests there, you'll know the truth. The way she breathes differently, the way she leans back into you. That's not choreography. That's emotional surrender. She's not waiting for a perfect man. She's waiting for one who pays attention to the moments that matter, the pauses, the small gestures, the parts of her that don't scream for attention, but quietly hope for connection. You see, most men are loud when they want to impress. But the man who can speak through stillness, who can communicate presence through a touch, he doesn't need volume. He has impact. Her lower back is where she carries the weight of being strong all the time. So when you touch her there, Gently, consciously, you help her feel what she rarely does, that she doesn't have to carry it all alone.